Hello everyone, this is Jerry with a video, my first video of how to do it yourself. Today's video is about how to flush your radiator in a Jeep Patriot 2014 Latitude. And the reason why I'm flushing today my radiator and the cooling system is because of the fact that I used the wrong coolant, and basically what that did to my vehicle was it clotted. And now the temperature of my vehicle is going sky high. So today I'm going to flush the radiator. Hopefully that will fix the problem. I took the car to the mechanic. The mechanic said that everything was good in the car, that maybe the problem was that my radiator fans weren't bad. I switched the fuse. The car is still running high. And basically he also told me that the pressure on my radiator was good. Then after that I started researching, and I find out that basically what I did was I mixed the factory coolant with another coolant, and that basically possibly messed up my heater core. Today I will be flushing my vehicle with a flush from Preston, and basically the other once I flush that, what I'm gonna do is use as much water as I can. I cannot use regular water. You cannot use regular water. You have to use basically distilled water. The reason why is because if you use regular water, the regular water has minerals on it, and once that water gets hot, it will basically build calcium, and that can clog your lines again. Now for the Jeep Patriot 2014, what I'm going to do is go with factory brand. So I'm using the Mopar antifreeze, 10 years, 150 miles. That's what I will be using. There is a process that you have to do. So the next step, you will see how I do it myself, and hopefully I will be able to clear my radiator and basically the lines of any clot or any debris or any particles that are making my the temperature on my Jeep Patriot 2014 to get hot. Stay tuned, please. Follow the instruction. It's a process. This will take some time. Let me go ahead goes down there and start working, draining the water, so you can see what you need to do. Okay, to continue with the video, some things that I want to inform you is the Mopar concentrated antifreeze is concentrated, so meaning you have to dilute this 50-50 in order to add it to the engine. And what I'm gonna do is basically use 50% distilled water with 50% coolant, and I'm gonna separate that, and that's the one that I'm gonna put in my receiver. So stay tuned. I'm gonna start doing that. Then shortly I will go to my car and start the flush. Alright, so coming back again, so basically what I did now, I separated or divided the coolant, and as you can see, you have lines in here. So basically what I did was I basically leave 2/4 of concentrated coolant, and what I'm gonna do now is basically add the distilled water to make 4/4 of antifreeze. Okay, stay tuned for the rest, and make sure when you add the distilled water to the concentrated coolant that you shake that mixture well, and because you're gonna put that in your receiver once you're ready to add the coolant to the radiator. Okay, 1 second, stay tuned. I will come back with the next part. Alright, so basically what I'm doing now, I'm going to just go ahead and add the distilled water. And I'm going to make sure that I have basically 4/4 of the mixture between the concentrated Mopar antifreeze coolant, 10 years, 150 miles. And once I have those 4/4, basically that's I'm not going to use, I don't think that I will use the 4/4, of course, because the receiver is smaller, but you will see it once I go to the engine and start working on it. Okay, so here I am. I already mixed the distilled water with the coolant. So what I'm gonna do now is make sure that I shake that well, and make sure that it is mixed properly, because once I start adding this to the engine, basically, I mean, you want to make sure that you have this diluted 50-50 because it's concentrated. I went to AutoZone to try to get the Mopar coolant. They did have it for my vehicle, but they were having the 5-year, 100,000 miles, and the price was $29 if I'm not mistaken. And when I went to the dealership, I went directly to the dealership, to Chrysler, and I was surprised because the price there was cheaper than when I went to AutoZone. I paid for the whole gallon only $25. So somehow at the dealership it cost me cheaper than going to AutoZone. I tried AutoZone, I tried Walmart, I tried CarQuest, O'Reilly, Ben's Auto Parts, but they didn't have it. They didn't carry it. They said the only one that was having it was AutoZone, but it was the 5 years, 100,000 miles. And I for some reason I was like, if I do it, I'm gonna do it the right way and just follow the factory specifications. All right, so let's go downstairs and start the hard work, draining the radiator, adding the flush, and go from there. So okay, basically in the part in which I had to add the flush to my radiator, or something that I learned about the Jeep Patriot is that's the drainer. The drainer for the radiator is basically right here. I'm gonna try to go down. There it is. That's what it is. So there is a drain. Now the thing is, in order to go to the drain, you have to remove the entire front fender. Also, you need to remove the bottom fenders, which have 3 screws on it. You have to remove the fenders under both tires. The fenders on the both tires need to come out. So basically, all those fenders have to get out. Front fender have to get out. And what you basically will need is the antifreeze already mixed. And you need 4 gallons of distilled water. And with that, I'm gonna use the Preston flush, which Mopar recommend that you use Mopar flush cleaner. But when I went to the store, I didn't bother because the fact that I was having already the Preston cleaner flush. But because of the fact that I'm flushing, I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna be able to get all that out, because I'm gonna use a bunch of distilled water. Now, something else that you need is to have a bucket. You need to make sure that you get all that coolant that you're gonna get from your radiator disposed the right way, because it's very polluted. So let me continue with the process, and I will show you shortly how to add the flush and the procedure that you need to do in order to flush your radiator. Here is a radiator plug, and I'm gonna be honest to you guys, and I'm not gonna lie to you. Basically, here is where the plug goes, and I have drained radiators in the past and flushed them. This one is the most difficult one that I have to remove, and the reason why is basically to remove it, you have to rotate clockwise, but at the same time you have to put pressure right here in this lip and try to push it at the same time that you are basically like trying to get it out. And the thing is that you don't have space between this right here, the frame of the vehicle or the chassis, and the drainer was basically goes right here. But I need to be honest to you, this plug right here has been the most difficult one that I have ever removed. So right now I'm draining basically the water, and it's not that bad, I mean, but still I'm gonna flush the heck out of that because, as I said, I used the incorrect coolant, and I'm gonna use the factory recommended coolant, which is the Mopar antifreeze coolant, 10 year, 150 miles. So I'm go ahead and let all that drain. Meanwhile, what I'm gonna do is basically remove this receiver too and clean that, rinse it a little nice, because if I go, once I flush all this thing, I want to make sure that basically everything is clean and the way that it's supposed to be, and hopefully this Jeep will not get hot again. So in this part I already drained my coolant receiver and I clean it, connected the line again, and I'm about to basically add some water, add the flush, and turn off the car. Okay, so in this part I already added my radiator flush cleaner, and also I added some water. Now something that I did here with the distilled water, I did put some here, but not that much, because what I'm gonna do now is run the vehicle and let that anti-flush basically go through all the hoses and flush out all the system. So the next part that you are about to see now is the actual flush going on and what you need to do. Okay, I'm about to turn the engine on, and it's something that I need to tell you about this part is, number one, you need to make sure that your heat is all the way up. As you can see, I'm rotating this and I'm putting basically my heat all the way up. And what I'm doing, to be honest with you, I'm leaving my windows open. Why? Because that heat core is gonna be running, and basically I'm gonna be out of the car adding some more water if it's needed. So let's go ahead and turn the car on, remember, and the heat all the way high. We're turning the engine, then we're gonna make that fan go all the way hot. All right, so we're gonna let that go as hot, full blast, and let the engine run and flush. Now the engine is running, the flush is going inside. Then what I'm gonna do is let that basically flush run inside the engine for at least 15 minutes. Then drain that water again, and hopefully when I drain that water, what is going to happen is all that water either will come extremely clean, and I will remove the coolant that I added to this vehicle, which is a Jeep Patriot 2014 Latitude, and hopefully that will remove all that coolant out of there. See, right now there, what I have is some distilled water, just a little bit. I didn't add that much because what I want to put in here is the coolant. So as you can see right now, in my first flush, basically for my first flush I use a full gallon. Is out. This one here, that is running in that one, I use maybe like a quarter plus some of that water that was there. So I still have like 2 gallons and 3/4. And in here is my antifreeze, but I haven't added that one yet. I haven't added the anti-coolant yet. All right. It's running. Let's go inside to see how the temperature look. So as you can see, the temperature right now is haven't even go to 1/4 yet, but I'm gonna let this run for at least 50 minutes. It's very hot inside because I'm running the heat full blast, so that heat core can basically watch out or flush. I'm gonna put some power to this thing and see if the temperature goes up. Something else for the second flush. When you do the second flush, remember that you need to let the engine cool down. And the reason why, the reason for that is because you basically, by doing the flush, that water will heat, and if you try to open that drainer, I mean, you might get burned, and you don't want to get burned and put yourself in a situation in which you might burn your hands, your face, or something else, whatever. So far the temperature is still in. Now the next step that I'm doing right now is basically, as you can see, the thermostat is opening. And once the thermostat is open, what happens is that flush will go through the lines, will go to the heat core, and that will clean that line too. And if I have any clot there, that will basically will clean. And as you can see, look, the thermostat is basically opening and getting all that flush inside the thermostat, which I want. That is exactly what I want. That will be perfect. Later on, what I'm going to do basically is remove my urban suctions, and I'm going to head and take off that the thermostat and let all that water drain too. So I run my engine already for 15 minutes, and that's what I want my temperature to be, and I'm about to do my second flush, and I will show you shortly the result of my second flush. So I got my thermostat out, and all the water was drained, and basically this is the thermostat. And what I'm gonna do now is test this thermostat to see if this thermostat is good. If the thermostat is good, then I don't need to replace it, and I will show you in this same video how to test your thermostat. Okay, to test the thermostat, what you do is you boil water in a microwave, and you basically to the thermostat in the boiled water, and what is going to happen to the thermostat, it will open. And if the thermostat doesn't open, then that means that you have to replace it. And as you see, okay, the thermostat open. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm not going to stick my hands in there because it's very hot. But I'm going to take it out. Okay, and as you can see, oops, the thermostat is open. So that means that this thermostat is good, and as the thermostat start cooling down, it will close. You see? So basically, it closed, and it kept closing until it's basically totally closed. So that means that basically this thermostat is good. There is no need to change or buy a new thermostat. Okay, I'm on my last flush. Basically, as you can see, the flush is doing the work that it's supposed to do, which is clean all those lines there. And I already basically removed the thermostat, tested the thermostat. The thermostat is good. Place back the thermostat, and basically what I'm doing now is just, again, which each and every single flush that you do, you have to basically remember that you have to run the heat up to maximum fan and let the engine run for at least 15 minutes. And I need to be honest with you, this process is going to take some time. This process is not a process that you can do fast and go in the run. You basically need to make sure that you remove all the debris and all the cloth that you have in your line, and hopefully, if that was the problem that I was having, that temperature gauge will go what it's supposed to be. So right now, as you can see, it's basically in the first line. I'm gonna go ahead and let the engine run for another 50 minutes and flush it for the last time. Then once I flush it for the last time, what I'm gonna do is basically add the antifreeze. And the reason why you're doing that flush, and the reason why basically you need to run your heat full blast, is because you want that heat core to clean up. You want that flush to go through the lines. And again, I'm going to factory recommendation, which is the Mopor Concentrate Antifreeze Coolant, 10 years, 150 miles. And basically, I already mixed this 50-50. And in here, you got 50% coolant, 15% distilled water. Again, the reason why you need to use distilled water and you cannot use normal water is because the normal water has mineral, and that's mineral basically what it will cause is for your radiator and the lines to build sediment. and that will basically clog your line and your engine will run hot again. And once that sediment start basically building, what you will create is basically calcium. So there you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and add some more water. At this point, this flush is doing what it's supposed to do, clean the lines. Well, I'm going to stop here, and shortly you will see the final video with the last flush and the antifreeze being added to the engine. Alright, so basically what I'm doing now is adding the coolant to the receiver, and I already added some, but I'm going to show you which color is mine. You can see it's kind of like a pink color. So shortly I'm going to post a video of how the flush went and the resort, all the resort that I got in each flush. Alright, so the project is completed. I used basically 1, 2, 3 gallons and 3/4 of distilled water, about 5, but that's what I use. This one here was the first drain, or the first flush, second flush, third flush, and here is the last flush, which I call a clean flush. And again, what I used was the press and flush cleaner. Then after that, I basically used the antifreeze that was supposed to go into my car, which is the Mopar concentrated antifreeze coolant, 10 years, 150 miles. 1 of the gallons of water went in dividing this in 50-50, because this is concentrated and I had to dilute it 50-50. And so far so good. Let me see if I have the keys. Let's take a look at the temperature to see if the temperature dropped. Right now I'm running my AC, and basically, as you can see, it went back basically to, I will say, 2/4 and a little bit. Before, it was up to this line right here. So far so good. It's running smooth. Hopefully this video will help some people there who are looking on how to drain or how to flush a Radiator in a 2014 Jeep Patriot Latitude. And honestly, I think the hard part was to remove all this frame out of here. The front bumper, that's a whole piece right there. And I also removed the fenders. I also removed this cover right here. This plastic cover right here. And again, remember the drainer in this particular model is in the right side at the bottom. And to get it out, you have to basically pull back and turn clockwise. And that's it. Take care, guys. Again, and this is Jerry from How to Do It Yourself.